As It Should Be, Paul Bertolino here in the world famous As It Should Be studios.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Oh shit!
Oh no!
Grant.
Hi, Crystal.
Tommy Von
Hello.
Boy.
Hi, Tommy. Wait.
Hi,
All
Tommy.
right.
Oh no!
And live albums of 1972.
Woo!
Woohoo!
1972 for you.
Oh yeah, you.
All right. And I believe Tommy starts
Tommy
out.
starts.
By the opening act.
You're the,
Yes,
All
you
right.
the opening
All
act.
right.
You're the opener.
So I have a mention. A mention.
Okay.
All
I
right.
have a mention.
Mention on.
It's not honorable. It's certainly not dishonorable.
Just a
Just
mention.
a mention.
All right.
And that is Amazing Grace by Aretha Franklin. I'd love to like this more, but it's unfortunately just entirely too much Jesus.
Too much Jesus.
It is just way too much Jesus.
Too much Jesus.
There's a proper balance for how much Jesus is too
Tommy
much
can
Jesus.
take. Yeah.
Yes. Like for example, Spirit in the Sky, that's an acceptable amount of Jesus.
3 minutes of Jesus.
I can deal with that. Yeah.
minutes of
But
Jesus.
this, an entire album of praise him. No, I'm good. Let somebody else do that. Moving on to my actual top 5
All right.
for 1972. I only have 5.
You've been reduced to 5.
Only 5.
Only five.
You'll notice the year's been going. It started out strong, or the decade has started out
It's
strong.
10.
It's just going like this. Ever since.
It's going to be more like a it's a
Okay.
roller coaster of
Of live albums.
Say what?
We have to. By the way, we need to discuss funk voice at some point in the future. Not right now, but we need to talk about funk
Wow.
voice. Because it's a thing, and we need to have that conversation.
Yeah.
So my number 5, Janis Joplin in concert.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. My number 4.
Ah.
Neil Diamond is back again with another live album. That is Hot August Night. I believe this is the one he recorded live at the Greek.
Yes, that is
Yes.
correct. It was like 7 nights or something.
Yeah, 7 nights, and if you look at the track listing, it's like all 7 nights are on that album.
Yeah.
My number 3, I have Slade with Slade Alive.
Whoa.
Slade Alive.
Yeah.
I missed that.
Yeah.
Where'd they do that at?
Probably England
In
somewhere.
England somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere. So yeah, at that venue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This would have been right before they really started exploding with some of their more well-known glam
Yeah.
singles, so that shit's not really represented here.
That's before they
Yeah.
even hit
Hit
here.
there.
at
So
all.
this was
okay.
probably recorded live in some fucking pub somewhere, and
Right.
yeah.
Interesting.
I think they were probably still skinheads when they did that because it was right after their Skinhead album.
Oh, for Slade?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Well, they weren't skinhead.
They weren't
They
skinhead,
kind of had
skinheads,
this.
but-
They had this album. I have it down here, but I forget the name of it. Sorry, off the top of my head, it's their second album, I believe. And they shaved their heads.
Well,
And-
they were a pub rock band.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So before they went
And they were
glam,
well. It was
yeah.
something. It was their manager kind of made them do it because they were looking for some angle to cut through and make them
Oh,
different. So it was
okay.
kind of a stunt, really. So when they did this album, they were kind of growing literally out of that.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. My number 2, Deep Purple with Made in Japan. And my number 1 live album for 1972, Smokey Robinson and the Miracles with Smokey Robinson and the Miracles 1957 and 1972.
Oh, look at you.
Yes. This album
Okay.
kicks fucking ass.
It is very good.
It's so good. Now, obviously, as the title alludes to, it was recorded over a period of time.
Right.
But, oh my God, it's so good. So good.
Oh wow! All right.
True that.
Wow.
That's
That's it.
it.
Yeah. How long was that?
5
I
minutes.
you said only 5.
2 minutes.
Yeah, no, I know.
40
No. I'm not complaining about
Should
that.
I go fuck off and find some more albums?
Yeah. Could you fuck
People
off?
in the comments, should I go fuck off and find some more albums?
Yeah.
There, listen to the full sentence. Not should I just go fuck off. It's should I go fuck off and find some more albums.
No, it's
those
fine.
with itchy comment fingers.
It's fine.
Yeah. No. This is one of those things where this is sort of unfolding as we're doing it, and I'm going, wow, these segments are kind of short. Should I be going to commercials from these? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, possibly not. I've only been talking for 5 minutes, and that's with me. Blah, 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 blah. So if you want, we could just kick it right over to Crystal.
I don't know. Let's find out. Did we or didn't we?
For years, musicians have tried to recreate the sound of a live performance. They improved the records, invented stereo, but nothing gave you the feeling of being there until now. Now there's discrete 4-channel sound. Introducing Series 44 from Panasonic. There are other kinds of 4-channel systems, but they don't separate sound into 4 distinct parts. A discrete system like Panasonic's does. Now a musician can put just rhythm on one speaker, French horns on another, trumpets on a third, violins on a fourth, so you feel right inside the music. Panasonic systems play 4-channel tapes and records. They also improve the sound of stereo tapes, records, and radio. Discrete 4-channel sound. Series 44 from Panasonic. Just slightly ahead of our time.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're
Crystal.
back. Hi, I'm Crystal. It's 1972 list. I got 2 runners up. I have Live Full House by the Jay Giles Band.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is an album.
Jay Giles Band. So that Jay
That
Giles
is an
Band
album.
they
It's
were
an album that
they were
came out
kicking ass.
that year.
Jay Giles Band was really amazing live. You know, and I'm not just talking about Centerfold and beyond. I'm talking about before that.
Especially in the 70s.
Specifically in the 70s, I saw them once or twice, and they were like a really highly elevated bar band, blues band. And I'm not a huge harmonica proponent, but
That dick was magic.
that Magic Dick was full of magic. And the song Hammer Jammer is probably the best harmonica track ever recorded. I love it. And then my other runner-up is Hot August Night by Neil Diamond, which has that unfortunate album cover photo.
Oh, the one where he's...
Oh, I know. Yeah,
the one with
it's
the
like his
pretend
crotch is
penis.
about to explode or
Yeah,
something.
it's very
Yeah.
weird. I don't know why they chose
really
that.
bizarre.
It's very odd.
That's an example. Anyone who's into photography, you'll know that is an in-between shot. That's the
Stevie
shot-
Wonder knows that it looks like shit.
That's the
I'm
shot you
just-
throw away as
Wait.
you're picking all the good ones that you want to
awful.
choose from.
It's awful. And it had a really weird, goofy version of Soggy Pretzels on that album.
Which is a really goofy song to begin
Which
with.
is, yeah, I don't know why they would put it on there, but whatever. So here's my list. Coming in at number 5, I have Live at the Lighthouse by Grant Green. Whew, jazz. It's super funky jazz, though, with Wilton Felder from the Crusaders on bass, and Windjammer is the song off that album. It's really, really good. Live at the Lighthouse by Grant Green. Grant Green. Incredible keyboard player. Coming in at number 4, I have Live in Tokyo by The Weather Report.
Oh shit, you're bringing in the weather report.
Weather Report, they went through a million incarnations, but they were always solid. It didn't matter who was in it, really. They were great. And in this version, it was basically Wayne Shorter's version of a supergroup. A double album of 5 tracks, and 4 of them were medleys. Which is crazy, but if you like jazz, you'll like this record. Eurydice, The Moors, that medley was really good, and Joe Zawinul, I don't know how to say his last name, which was he played synths, and synths weren't really used a whole lot then, but he like kind of elevated it, and it was really great. It's a great record. Coming at number 3, I have Root Down by Jimmy Smith.
Oh shit.
Yes. I put your root down. I got your root down. Which obviously the Beastie Boys sampled the fuck out of that.
Yeah, right.
Which is great. But he was the king of the Hammond B3, which at that time, it replaced the pipe organ in churches, the B3. It wasn't really a thing. But he, cranked it up a couple of notches. He was all over Verve Records, that album. That label, and it turned into a jazz staple, the B3, and like I said, it was sampled a million times, and specifically by the Beastie Boys. So if you listen to that, you'll know. Coming in at number 2, I have Live, Donny Hathaway, The Ghetto, What's Going On, You've Got a Friend, because gotta have covers.
Yeah.
But it's fucking Donny Hathaway.
Yesterday by the Beatles? Oh, no. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Just,
Yeah.
When they
But
put out the extended version, it'll have that
yeah,
on
it's
there.
on there. But Donny Hathaway, you can't go wrong with that. And then my number 1 is Amazing Grace by Aretha Franklin.
Chris was like, don't even fucking
Don't
do
even do it.
Don't
I
even.
just, yeah. And it is, I understand it being too much church for people. I get it. And as I've said a million times before, I'm not religious by any means, stretch of the imagination. Religion is bullshit to me. But I guess it's because I'm black. I enjoy black gospel music. And I go into churches all over Harlem on random Sundays just to listen to the bands play. And they're just as amazing as anybody else. And it's, they look kind of raggedy or whatever, but they're really fantastic. And this album is not church, but church.
Church.
And if you know what I'm talking about, it's church. It is full on Holy Ghost, the Spirit moving you, and you can't, to me, you just cannot not get swept up into it because it's so amazing. So, she covered You Got a Friend and Precious Lord, Take My Hand. And there's a documentary about it by Sidney Pollack that came out in 2018. Watch it. Even if you're not a churchy person or you don't get gospel or whatever. And I'm not saying this to turn you into a gospel fan, but I feel as though it's important to see it in action. The early version of it, like he was there to shoot it, and a lot of the video got fucked up, but then they remastered it and it came out in 2018, and it's really, really good. And I'm quite often moved to tears by a lot of gospel music, old school gospel music, not so much modern. Some modern artists are good, like, I don't know, Kirk Franklin, I can take or leave him. But yeah, I think this is a really important record and you should give it a listen.
Well, that's kind of like, that's the Allman Brothers at Fillmore East of gospel.
It is.
It kind of is,
It's long and it's crazy and it's meandering, but
I just mean in terms of like where its status, like where it stands with
it's
people.
Huge. It's huge. But it's really great. I love it. So there's that.
All right.
Paul.
All right.
Paul.
Well,
Give it up.
I'm gonna give
A little break.
Maybe we're gonna take a break here. Maybe, I don't know.
Okay.
Nothing's too good for my dad. That's why I brought him here to McDonald's. For the best cheeseburger ever. The quarter pounder with cheese. It's not skinny. It's nice and thick the way my dad likes it. And it's got 2 pieces of cheese. It's really a neat thing. And that's the way it should be, because for my dad, it's nothing but the best.
You deserve
Right, Dad?
a break today at McDonald's.
The Slider, a new album by Mark Bolan, T-Rex, on Reprise Records.
All right.
Yeah, back.
All right, we're back, and
What do you got,
my list.
Paul?
I got a list. Oh, I do have a list. I have a list.
Do you have things?
I have things on my list,
What about some stuff? You got some
Stuff.
stuff?
Stuff.
and stuff and things. I have
All right.
various
Things.
and sundry
And
things.
sundry. Ooh, I like
both.
that.
Both.
Okay.
And I have an honorable mention. Honorable mention, Aretha Franklin.
Yeah.
With Amazing Grace. Now, I have to qualify that. I feel the way Tommy does about it, or about that, generally speaking.
Uh-huh.
But I put it on here as an honorable mention because I thought, well, I'm going to put this on and listen to it because I know I never really had dug into the album. Not really. But I know where it stands with people. You know,
Yeah.
I know where it stands in in the world,
In
in
the world,
place.
yes.
And I put it on, And I'm doing stuff. I'm like cleaning my closet or whatever, and I'm playing it. And I'm listening, and I'm noticing that yes, I really can't get into gospel, generally speaking, and it's kind of really not for me. But I'm like, man, but even with that, this really fucking kicks ass. I mean, like, I'm not actually into what's happening, and it's still kicking ass.
It's great.
You know what I mean? It's like,
It's
I still kind of got into, like, it wouldn't be an album I'd go back and listen to, really, but I enjoyed it while it was on.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I understand why this is so good. It's not for me, but I totally understand why this is so good. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought I have to put it on there in some capacity.
Got it.
But my 5 album list, my number 5, Slade Alive. Yeah. This is one of those albums that every time I go to the used record store and I go to the Slade section, that's all there is that. And that's always there. I'm thinking, how many of this fucking album sold? I see a lot of used copies of this. And I always ignore it because it's the live album. And it's the only Slade album I think that I don't have on vinyl. I don't think I have it. I have all of the studio ones, but I have just skipped right around this because it's the live album. So I went and I listened to it, and it's really great. I mean, and it's one of those albums. It's mostly songs that are only on that album. Many of the songs, like a chunk of them, you're not going to hear on any of their studio albums. And it's really early on, like I was saying before. So it's kind of before they really kind of hit with Slade, S-L-A-Y-E.
Yeah.
You know, that album. And we did not know from Slade over here at that time. So
No.
but yeah, it's pretty good. And it does kind of have that vibe, like they're just like stomping around on stage in a pub.
Yeah.
You know, with their pant legs rolled up.
Socks.
But yeah, with really loud socks and the whole thing. But number 4, Janis Joplin in concert. Yeah, and now this is spotty. There are tracks on it that I can't stand, but the opening track, that version of Down on Me, that alone is worth the entire album. I mean, that is the definitive version of that song. And, you know, but there's definitely some tracks on it that are just like, oh, God, I have to skip this. But a lot of it is really, really great. And, you know, it's not from one show. It's from different eras. Like, the first disc is Big Brother and the Holding Company, and then the second disc is when she had gone solo, and so it's kind of 2 different eras, and so it kind of really covers a lot of ground. But yeah, it's the Janis Joplin live album, and it sounds great. Number 3, Chicago Live in Japan.
Oh, I missed that.
I didn't even know this album existed until I ran into it in a used record store one day. I'm like, what the fuck is this? With this orange cover with the Chicago logo. This double live Chicago album that I didn't know existed. I think it was something that only kind of came out in Japan. Maybe it was in UK. I don't think it really ever came out here.
I do not.
But it's like a really kind of cool Chicago live in 1972 record. It's a little bit more... It's less sprawling, obviously, than the Carnegie Hall album. Obviously, it's only 2 albums, so it's not as long. But I would even say that the arrangements are a little bit more reined in. It's a lot more kind of like hit 'em with the songs kind of a vibe. And so if you're looking for more of that, maybe you might want to try that one. But number 2, Deep Purple, Made in Japan. Holy shit. God, you know, I'm not that big of a Deep Purple fan. You know, I mean, I like them, but I'm just not that into them. I don't even think I even have more than a couple of albums of theirs. And this is one of those albums that you always hear about. People are always pointing to that one. And I listened to it for the first time for this. I mean, I'd heard a couple tracks before because you'd heard them on the radio, like live version of Smoke on the Water or whatever. Yeah. But, man, it's like, shit, this just, like, it just fucking kicks. It's just this, busting you in the face, just... kind of fun fucking record, you know? They're like at the top of their game. So that goes at number 2. But my number 1. Oh man, my number 1. Another album that I hadn't listened to before. And I have seen a gazillion copies of this all over the place and have just passed it right by. But going to this list, I thought, I'll give this a shot. Donny Hathaway live. Ooh, man. Now, it opens up with a cover of What's Going On. And I cannot stand covers of What's Going On. I don't even like the Marvin Gaye live versions. Like, the album version, that's all that needs to exist. Anything else, I have no time for. I put that on, and I'm like, holy fucking shit. This is a good live version of What's Going On. I'm like, oh shit, okay, you know what? He's doing a live version, a cover of What's Going On that I'm into. Donny Hathaway, you have my ears now. I'm listening to this fucking record. Yeah, and then he goes into the Ghetto, which is like a fucking 12-minute version, and I hate that about a lot of live albums. I find a lot of these albums, like the second track is like 12 minutes long. Well, who's the person choosing the order these tracks go in?
I don't know.
When you pace these things, you know, you get to that shit later in the show. You know, you don't hit them with the 12-minute track on the second song. But even with that, it was good. Like, the whole thing was just fucking great, and I just immediately put it on my list and put it right at number 1. I've been missing out.
Yeah, I understand why people wouldn't gravitate toward this right away. You know, yeah, but it's a great record.
It's really great.
It's really, really
It's
good.
really great. But yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, totally awesome. It's totally awesome. All right.
Totes.
This is a close and play phonograph. When you close it, it plays. Open it, it stops. Close it,
It plays.
when you open it,
Stops.
close it.
Play.
Wouldn't you like to have a close and play to play your favorite songs and stories? Huh?
Close and Play phonograph by Kenner. Records not included.
A recent survey showed that 97% of all Americans preferred love. The remaining 3% said they had no real preference.
Imagine the nerve of that gas station asking $3 just to change a flat tire.
That's love, American style.
All right. We're back.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, oh shit.
Wait, is it time for what I think it's time for?
I think it is. I think it's time. Not timer.
So we're over to me for the hate list?
I think we are.
For 1972?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, if only I had a bottom 6 to read off.
Wow.
I know.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
my number 6, we have Just Another Band from LA by the Mothers.
Didn't see that one coming.
And then I wrote, necessity is the mother of invention, but this album was not necessary, so... ... And I actually put the ...
Yeah.
My number 5, Rock of Ages, The Band in Concert by The Band.
Oh.
And then I wrote, the staff at Rolling Stone assures me that this is my favorite album and my favorite band.
Have they misinformed you?
Oh, yes.
Staff at Rolling Stone. Yeah.
And then we have number 4, Live at Max's Kansas City by the Velvet Underground. This band sucks, and I am really overhearing about them. Moving on. Number 3, The Grateful Dead with Europe 72. It's really such a shame that the Grateful Dead were never sufficiently documented much as a live unit. Moving on. Number 2, we have various artists with Fillmore, The Last Days. This album will make you happy the Fillmore West closed down.
Oh!
My number 1.
Ouch!
Moving on to my number 1, we have Earthbound by King Crimson, which is just a bunch of obnoxious freak-out bullshit. And that's me. Over to you, Crystal Durrett, for the weather.
Oh my God. Well, yeah, the one that I hated because why am I fucking these guys who listen to terrible music? Another guy I was fucking in college who loved the Velvet Underground and loved this record.
Oh no!
Yeah, Live at Max's, Velvet Underground Live at Max's.
God, that record's just trash.
It is such garbage. You know.
Well, and I think somebody probably recorded it on a boombox if there was such a thing back then. And, well, not one of those little portable tape recorders. That's what it sounds like.
But the best thing about it, it does have one good thing. And that is that Doug Yule's brother Billy played drums because Mo Tucker was pregnant.
Yes.
So there was an actual drummer, if you will, in the band. But it did make up for how awful it is.
Yeah, was Lou Reed still there? Yeah, I rest my case.
It's one of those things like we've talked about other bands before in this. They live in this exalted space, and if you don't like them, you're out of your mind, and blah, 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 like how much I hate Patti Smith. Oh my God, you don't like Patti Smith, feminist man. Like, fuck this bitch.
Well.
Yeah, she is anyway, I've done that diatribe, but, you know, the Velvet Underground is such a, and there is some good stuff that they put out, I will agree. You know, a lot of people can't stand Nico. A lot of people don't like Sterling. A lot of people don't like Lou Reed. Yeah, you know, it is what it is. Probably, like, the best of VU is the best album to listen to if you're not familiar with the Velvet Underground.
It's just super duper cherry picked, right?
Completely cherry picked, but it is the best of the best. I will say that. And if you're not into them or don't know anything about them, get that record and listen to that or whatever for free on whatchamacallit. But yeah, this was just, it was terrible. Like, first of all, it was at Max's Kansas City. And if you know anything about that place back then, you know, it was like, it used to be kind of a fancy restaurant, Max's. So you could go there and watch the Velvet Underground and eat, like, Clam's Casino, or, you know, like steak or something. It was very
and Spy
odd.
Bowie in the corner.
Yeah, it was very weird. And, yeah, it's just not good. It's not good.
You know, I have to say, I mean, you really hit upon it with some of these bands that they just have this exalted status and you're just supposed to think that they're great. I just feel like it's pretentious and I just don't buy it. Some of these bands, people who claim that they love the fucking whatever the album is with the fucking stupid banana on it. If you're talking about how that's such a great record, I'm sorry, but I think you're probably full of shit. I think you're probably full of shit. I think you probably think you're supposed to like that. I kind of feel the same way about the band, to be honest with you. Everyone's, the band, blah, 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 blah. Really? Do you actually really like the band? Do you really truly like the band? Or have you just been conditioned to believe that everyone that has refined musical palates like the band and like the Velvet Underground? And fucking don't even get me started on Nico, her fucking hate crime committing ass.
Stand her.
You know,
yeah.
I actually like the Velvet Underground, but
I like them.
I like the Velvet Underground, but I don't like the really long, like European Sun stuff like that, like the 10 minutes,
that's
just noise
too
fest.
Much. Yeah.
You know, The Gift, stuff like that.
Yeah.
There are a lot of songs of theirs I like, but the really extreme shit, I can't do.
It's too much.
But by and large, like mostly, when I go to any one of their albums, I like most of the tracks.
It's not
that live stuff though is way more ramshackle, and it's always badly recorded.
Yes, always terribly recorded.
Yeah. You know?
Yeah, and it doesn't matter what kind of reissue they put out or whatever. It somehow manages still to sound like shit. You know, it's like, I don't know what you put it through, Pro Tools or whatever
like
the hell.
Remastered what? From one boombox to a different boombox? not even with a cable, just holding them right next to each other so they're
There are a number of Velvet Underground live recordings, but zero of them were professionally recorded.
Done, yeah.
Which is why these things come out.
Well, they also weren't professionally performed either. So
yeah. I'm with Paul here. I like Nico.
I don't like Nico, but
she is horrible. She's a piece of shit.
It's just some of those songs, it just works because it's so ramshackle and kooky. I mean, I love All Tomorrow's Parties. I cherry pick the songs with Nico. I don't like all of it across the board, but I think that as a German chanteuse, with who she's doing these songs with, it works for me. more often than not.
Is she still, is she even alive anymore?
Oh, she's
super
long
dead,
gone.
right?
She had,
gone.
like, died of heroin
She
overdose.
was
Yeah.
such a fucking hateful, racist piece of shit. She made Lou Reed seem like he wasn't.
I know, and I'm
Okay.
black, and I'm saying that I still like it. This is my life. It's rough, Tommy. It's hard.
You have to like these awful
I gotta,
so sorry, Crystal.
I gotta draw a line sometimes.
Crystal
Well,
has
not
no
sometimes.
choice but to separate the art from the artist.
I have to, I have to. So yeah, there's that. And see.
And I have mine now.
Oh yeah, here, Paul.
Yeah, I got mine. Yeah.
What you got,
Well, I
Paul?
only have one.
And Paul.
I only have one. And this album is only half live. This is one of those double albums. Disc 1 is a studio album. Disc 2 is a live album. And I wouldn't have thought of this except for it actually came up on the list of live albums. And I went, oh yeah, fuck that album.
I think I know which one this is.
Uh-oh. What is
John and Yoko, Sometime in New York City.
Yep.
Yeah.
Take a fucking hike. I mean, I hate the studio album on that too, but the live record, I've never gotten through that.
Bleh.
And that's part and parcel of the Mothers of Invention record you're talking about. It's some of the same material even. Like, or some of the same shows and like the same era, because you have Zappa there and you have the Mothers on stage with them, and it's just this garbage. And there was this whole controversy how John supposedly stole or misused some of the material that was actually written by Frank Zappa, and there was that whole controversy.
Yeah.
That aside, regardless of any of that, I just hate the music.
Irregardless.
Irregardless.
Yes. Irregardless.
Fuck it. Let's just say irregardless.
Irregardless of that. Yeah. I couldn't even.
It's not even good enough to mention.
It's not even good enough to mention. And I'm a Yoko Ono fan. It's just not.
I cannot.
That record's trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, in on every level. And again, if it was stripped down to just the studio album, I would tell you the same shit. It's just a terrible record.
Yeah.
And yeah, so there you go. That's all I have for 1972. And but I think it's time for a break. Just give us a break, okay?
Ready, Mom? Hold it.
If it's going to be one of those days and caffeine bothers you, who needs it? Sanka brand decaffeinated coffee gives you all the good, smooth taste you want without the caffeine you don't want. So if it's going to be one of those days, make it Sanka.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that is our 1972 live album list.
72.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Thank you everybody for watching and these really, really long episodes that we're doing right now. But if you can get through them, then then you rule.
Yes.
All right. But thank you for subscribing if you haven't. If you haven't, maybe consider subscribing. If you do, click the little bell, notifications. But be sure to come back next week because we're going to continue the series and discuss our favorite live albums of 1973. Yeah, the 70s keep rolling on.
Actually,
you are there.
those in Germany, 1973. There you go.
All right.
Yeah.
See you then.
They do. The thumb. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Oh.
Press it. Press it.
Press it! How many people out there like pushing buttons?
I love buttons.
Well,
I want to push it real good.
Now, wait a minute. This episode's only for the sexy people. So all you fly mothers
out there, you better start watching.
Watch, I said.
Watch.
Wrong decade.
Oh, sorry.
Wrong decade.
Oh boy, I grew up in the very best surroundings. I really did.
Well. All right.
Okay, we're all right. Well, all right.
Wait, let's do that one again. Okay. A one, a two,
a three.
Well,
all right.
Jack in the Box has a new hamburger. It's called the Jumbo Jack, a 100% pure beef hamburger patty that measures 5 inches wide. Shredded lettuce, sliced tomatoes, rings of fresh onion, pickles, a special sauce. The Jumbo Jack from Jack in the Box, a very adult hamburger.
WNBC TV, Channel 4 in New York. A subscriber in good standing to the Television Code Board, Washington, D.C. This concludes our program schedule for the day. Portions of the preceding broadcast day were pre-recorded. For the best in television entertainment, stay with WNBC TV, Channel 4 in New York. We'll return to the air tomorrow with more of your favorite programs. This is Arthur Gary wishing you a good night on behalf of Channel 4, part of your life.